Overthinking is a silent killer, not of life, but of peace. It doesn't scream. It whispers, quietly, consistently, endlessly. It keeps you awake when you should be resting. It steals your attention when you should be present. It convinces you that if you just think hard enough, long enough, you will find certainty. But that's the lie. Overthinking is not a sign of intelligence. It's a sign of fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of the unknown. And yet, every ancient Stoic already knew what we forget in our modern world. The mind, left untrained, is a wild beast. And if you don't tame it, it will devour you from the inside. So, the real question is, how do you calm your mind from overthinking? How do you step out of the storm and into the stillness? The answer lies not in modern hacks or temporary tricks, but in ancient wisdom, wisdom that survived empires. Stoicism. Let's begin. Imagine a young man in Rome. He walks through the marble halls of the palace, burdened by the weight of an empire. He's the most powerful man in the world, yet plagued by self-doubt, worry, and inner chaos. This man was Marcus Aurelius, and despite being emperor, he still struggled with overthinking, anxiety, and uncertainty. But instead of escaping from his thoughts, he confronted them. He wrote to himself night after night, line after line, until his soul grew still. And in those pages, we find a roadmap for calming our modern minds. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. That's what Marcus wrote. This is the first step in calming your mind. Recognize what you control. Most of what we overthink isn't even ours to control. What if they don't like me? What if I fail? What if I said the wrong thing? What if the future doesn't go as planned? But Stoicism says, stop. Ask yourself, can I control this? If the answer is no, drop it. Not because it's unimportant, but because it's unchangeable. You're not responsible for the thoughts of others. You're not responsible for the weather, the economy, or the opinions of strangers. You're responsible for one thing, your response. When you shift your energy away from what you can't control, you finally have energy to change what you can. And that brings peace. But sometimes it's not about the future. Sometimes we're haunted by the past. We replay conversations. We regret decisions. We punish ourselves with should-haves and could-haves. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, don't waste the rest of your life worrying about people you will never meet or things you cannot change. The past is a closed book. Nothing you think, say, or analyze will rewrite it. Overthinking the past is like reading the same painful sentence over and over, hoping the words will rearrange. They won't. So close the book, use the lesson, and return to the present. The Stoics weren't just thinkers. They were practitioners. They trained their minds the same way warriors train their bodies. And one of their greatest practices was observation. Epictetus said, it's not things themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. Your thoughts are not facts. They are interpretations. They're stories. And if you can see them for what they are, just stories, you can stop being controlled by them. This is where the power of the observer mindset comes in. When your mind starts racing, don't jump into the thoughts. Step back. Watch. Pretend your thoughts are clouds floating by. You are the sky. Vast, calm, untouched. The clouds come and go, but the sky remains still. This practice of watching rather than reacting is one of the fastest ways to calm the mind, because it gives you distance, and distance gives you clarity. But clarity is not found in thinking harder. It's found in thinking less. We live in a world that glorifies mental noise, but the Stoics cherished silence. Seneca said, a wise man is content with himself, not because he never thinks, but because he knows when to stop. Sometimes, the answer isn't in more analysis. It's an acceptance. Try this the next time you're overthinking. Pause. Take a breath. Say to yourself, this is only a thought. It is not me. It will pass. And then let it go. Not with force, but with softness, like releasing a feather into the wind. Overthinking thrives in resistance. It dies in surrender. But surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting life more than your fear. And here's where Stoicism offers one of its most powerful practices. premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. This means visualize the worst-case scenario. See it clearly, feel it fully, then ask, could I handle that? Most times, the answer is yes. When you do this, you rob fear of its power. You replace uncertainty with preparation. And once you're prepared, you stop overthinking. Why? Because fear thrives in the unknown. But once the unknown is known, even if it's unpleasant, it becomes manageable. The Stoics practiced this not to be negative, but to be calm in any storm. They knew that a mind prepared is a mind at peace. But even preparation can't stop overthinking if your mind is overstimulated. Today, we live in a world of constant input. Notifications, messages, scrolling, noise. And yet we wonder, why can't I calm my mind? The answer is simple, because your mind never gets rest. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. But if you never retreat inward, your soul becomes loud, cluttered, restless. So make time to unplug. Spend 10 minutes a day doing nothing. Sit with your thoughts. Journal them. Walk in silence. Let your mind breathe. Stillness is not a luxury. It's a necessity, and it's where overthinking finally begins to dissolve." Another practice? Voluntary discomfort. Seneca said, "Set aside certain days to live as though you had lost everything." Why? Because once you face discomfort, you no longer fear it. Overthinking often comes from fearing failure, rejection, or loss. But when you practice those feelings in small ways, they lose their grip on you. Take cold showers. Fast for a few hours. Sit in discomfort. Be still with boredom. These little moments train the mind. They teach you, I'm stronger than I thought. And that inner strength, it creates outer calm. Now, let's talk about perhaps the most beautiful Stoic teaching of all. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. At first, it sounds dark, but it's actually a doorway to peace. When you reflect on your mortality, you stop wasting your time on meaningless worries. You realize that argument you're replaying, it won't matter when you're gone. That awkward moment you can't stop thinking about, no one else even remembers it. That fear of what others think, all of them are mortal too. When you remember death, you stop trying to control everything, and you start trying to live fully. That's what the Stoics knew. Overthinking is a disease of the mind that forgets what truly matters. But when you align your thoughts with reality, with virtue, with the shortness of life, your mind returns to simplicity. And in simplicity, you find peace. So, how do you calm your mind from overthinking? Not with force, not with guilt, but with discipline, awareness, and trust. Here's what the Stoics would tell you. Observe your thoughts. Don't become them. Focus on what you can control. Release what you cannot. Anchor yourself in the present moment. Question your beliefs with reason. Welcome discomfort. Let it build strength. Prepare your mind for adversity. Retreat to silence. Let your mind breathe. And above all, remember life is short. Live wisely. Overthinking will visit you again. But now you are ready. You are not a victim of your mind. You are its master. And when the storm returns, you won't run from it. You'll stand still in the center. Because stillness is where the Stoic lives. Thank you for listening. If this voice has brought you a moment of calm, a flicker of clarity in your day, then I invite you to walk this path with me. Subscribe to Stoic Mindset for more ancient wisdom in a noisy world. Until next time, stay grounded, stay strong, stay stoic.